I did my first impressions video of DC20, and I felt like I was a little bit harsh on it. And luckily, some comments pointed out some things that I was worried and concerned about, such as -3 being a little bit low to die at, that it's equal to your prime modifier. So as you level up, you'll be able to go deeper into the negative hit points. That's good game design right there. But overall, after giving it a little bit more of a look, there are some things that started to click more that I liked a bit more. And there's one thing in particular that really sold me on the system, and that is
Cool. All right, let's do two giveaways. So first winner. We are giving away 2 copies of the DC20 Alpha. You know how it works. If you wait, let me see. It's not. Oh, wait. Voices of Chaos.
I'm just kidding, but thank you very much to the Dungeon Coach's automatic bot picker thing for picking me to win the contest basically and get randomly selected to get early access to the next playtest. That'll be good for me making some reviews for all of you to get a more juicier tastes of things. But no, that is not what sold me on the system. As we were playtesting the MCDM role-playing game, which you can watch our video of my review of that on the channel, I was looking through the DC20 PDF between turns, partially because I thought that we were going to playtest that one the same day, but the MCDM playtest took a lot longer than expected. We finally did get to playtest DC20 last night, and I recorded our playtest session, so very soon I'll be posting up some highlights from that, along with our review of DC20 now that we've played it. But before we even did that, there was one thing in the PDF document of the rules that when I read it, my face just lit up, and I knew that the dungeon coach had kind of really, unlocked the secret to the special sauce, that like it's the whole recipe was coming together. I explained before that the action point system was really well done, and I like the way that the dungeon coach did it, but I was not aware just the depths of how much they were utilizing the action point system. So in the previous video, I said that I didn't want to show anything from the PDF for legal reasons to not upset the dungeon coach. But in this video, I'm going to show one tiny screenshot, one small part of one page of the PDF. So hopefully I won't get in trouble for that. Other YouTubers have shown more. And if this video goes down, it's because he asked me to take the video down. But hopefully that's not the case. But let me put on screen the part that really sold me on it. So to preference this, there's maneuvers and there's techniques for the martial classes, and you get stamina points. Now, I was under the impression that, like some other RPGs, your action for your turn, you could spend a stamina point to then do some attack that has some extra riders and stuff. And it would just be like you choose this attack A or attack B or attack C. Many other RPGs have done that. And in fact, the techniques in DC20 are actually a lot like that. Sadly, I find the techniques to be a lot less interesting than the maneuvers, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe by the final version the techniques are scaled back or cut entirely from the game. But let's talk about the maneuvers. The maneuvers are very well done. I was kind of blown away with actually how detailed and flexible they are. And flexible is the key word here. So there's the attack maneuvers, there's the physical save maneuvers, there's the grapple maneuvers, there's the defensive maneuvers. So for example, let's just look at the attack maneuvers. So there is the power attack, where if you do that maneuver, you can get a +1 to the damage. But also there's the extend attack, where you can basically lunge forward and hit someone that would normally be outside of your weapon's attack range and hit someone one space away, like one space further away, so 2 spaces away normally. So I thought that, you spend your AP or your stamina point, whatever, and you do one or the other. But let me show you what you can actually do. So all of these abilities to modify your attacks are modular. So as you see on screen, you can spend 4 AP on a attack check against a enemy creature, 1 AP to take the attack action, make 1 attack check, then 1 more AP to use power attack for +1 damage, as I mentioned before, but then you can combine it with one more AP to use Trip to target their saves and then potentially knock them prone. And then you can also use one AP to grant yourself advantage on the attack check. So this is 4 different AP, each being used in different ways to modify your attacks. And again, there's also physical saves where you can expose people, you can hinder them, you can shove them. And not just can you give yourself advantage on the attack check, you can give them disadvantage on those negative conditions that I just mentioned that you could do. So unlike every other RPG where it's attack A or attack B or attack C, DC20 lets you combine attack A with attack C to make attack AC. And then, well, not armor class, but attack A plus attack C together to make a whole new kind of attack. And this is revolutionary to me. Like, I'm sure other RPGs in the past have done stuff like this or similar, but there's none that I can think of that really go this detailed in how you can modify your attacks. Something I said after the playtest is that you could take 10 different turns in combat, and every turn just swing your sword. But unlike in other things where you swing your sword the exact same way, you could swing your sword 10 different ways each round in combat. And it's not like it's restricted, like, oh, you only have 3 uses of power attack and 2 uses of extend attack. Like, when your turn comes around, you can decide what is the best one to use in the situation. How have people moved around the board? How have new enemies popped up? Or maybe the person that you were going to go for was killed and now you got to change your target. You can decide on the fly, how are you going to swing your weapon that turn? And you have so much flexibility in how you can create that attack. And again, you can still do multiple attacks. You still could do a second attack in the turn or a third attack, and they'll be at a giant penalty and will be difficult to hit with. But honestly, with this system, and again, I think I mentioned before in the last round, I was a little worried about the multiple attacks, and maybe it wouldn't be as smooth as Pathfinder 2E kind of handles the multiple attacks. But now I'm not so concerned, because honestly, with all this creative freedom, I don't want to make 2 attacks in a turn. I want to make one really cool attack that does awesome conditions to the opponent and just looks really different from the attack I did the round before, and really different from the attack I did the round before that. And this isn't even getting into that there's the grapple maneuvers. I'm willing to bet that when the dungeon coach, being a coach, was a math teacher, I kind of feel like maybe he coached a wrestling team, or perhaps he did wrestling in high school, because he put a lot of effort into making grappling really cool. So I feel he's a wrestling fan in one way or another, because there's a whole lot of cool stuff that you can do while being grappled, while grappling other things. You can throw them, you can slam them, all kinds of cool stuff. So there's those maneuvers, but then even when it's not your turn, there's defensive maneuvers. Raise shield as you would expect coming from Pathfinder 2E, but there's also parrying, there's protection. You can even sidestep attacks. You can taunt people. There is a lot to do with the maneuver system, and I didn't give it enough love the first time I looked through it. Looking with a more magnifying glass upon it, it is a really well put together system, and I think it makes martials incredibly fun to play in a way that's fair, in a way that's not broken. I think it just kind of gives martials the creative freedom that they should have, because it shouldn't just be I swing a weapon every single turn the exact same way. That's really boring. I love that in DC20, I feel that martials can be an artist, that their sword, their spear, their axe is their paintbrush, and they can paint the battlefield a glorious tapestry of blood and carnage, with each stroke, every turn, just creating artwork with their attacks and their blows. And it's just so freaking cool. Each weapon has its own special maneuver. So again, I'm always a big fan of this. I love that the axe will feel different from the sword. I think the spear has a very cool maneuver as well. I'll let you guys find that out if you haven't gotten the playtest yet. Give him the money for it. Check it out. It's really cool stuff in there. But yeah, this ability to split up your AP and customize your attacks, and it's not just having binary choices of, oh, you get the power attack, or oh, you get the vicious lunge. You can mix and match however you want. You have a whole, going back to the art metaphor, you have a whole bunch of buckets of paint in front of you, and on your turn, you get to dip your sword in 3 different buckets of paint and then slash your opponent with it. This is very much a artsy bard warrior we got going on here, apparently, but that's really just how awesome DC20 is with maneuvers and with attacking. That, like, as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, I actually have a lot more faith in the dungeon coach. Some of the things that I was looking over before, where I was concerned they could be worried, like with the mana points, I was kind of worried that there's reasons why spell slots are used and mana points are not used. I was a little bit worried, but after seeing the way that the maneuvers are done, it gives me faith that the whole system's going to run pretty smoothly. That with class progression, with spells, with hopefully equipment and items and like magic like items and stuff, I think hopefully the design philosophies that go into the martial maneuvers will go into all those other aspects of game design to just give you flexibility to do what you want to do during your turn and look cool doing it. So I hope that this also helped to sell you on DC20. I hope that you support DC20. I think it's going to be a really awesome game system. Look forward to our some footage of our playtest and our overall review of the system coming very soon. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have the playtest, comment down below. What is your favorite attack maneuver that you are very excited to use? And which attack maneuvers, which when you read them, you just kind of said out loud, wow, that's cool, because I would love to read them. All right, take care, everyone.